Products are becoming increasingly expensive. For starters, this isn't a short-term supply chain problem caused by an unexpected global pandemic. It's been going on for years. Furthermore, because these items are not subject to price controls in the same way that regular consumer goods are, nothing prevents these companies from charging the market price for these items and pocketing an extra $20,000 per watch, $10,000 per handbag, or $1 million per car as pure profit. But they aren't, and there's a good reason for it. Welcome to the Financial Flow. Please like and subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications to stay up on our latest videos. So, what are these items that can so easily defy market supply and demand expectations? So far, we've only seen one example of these products, but there is a wide variety available. It includes everything from luxury wristwatches to designer handbags, invite-only sports cards, and even sneakers. These products all share a few characteristics. To begin with, they are all high-end items. However, simply being a luxury item is not enough to qualify as one of these game-changing items. The next thing they have in common is that they are limited in some way. Some companies do this directly, such as automakers who only make a limited number of a specific model, while others do it indirectly, such as a fashion brand refusing to produce their bags outside of a small studio in France to maintain quality. The third component is high demand, which should go without saying, but there is a little more going on here than you might expect, so keep this in mind for later because it is crucial. Finally, there is reluctance to negotiate on price. Typical market expectations are as follows. If demand exceeds supply, prices rise until demand and supply are equal and everyone willing and able to buy an item at the new higher price point has done so. This is especially true for these types of unnecessary items because they are Veblen goods, or goods that increase in demand as prices rise. However, if you are purchasing something to show off, its usefulness is directly proportional to its cost. Why then are these companies not simply caving in and raising their prices to extract as much money as possible from as many people as possible? The official response will be that they value artistry and want to ensure that anyone who is truly passionate about the brand can afford one of their products. When you consider that charitable foundations own companies like Rolex, this almost makes sense. Most, however, are owned by massive multinational corporations with shareholders who, artisanship be damned, want a return on their investment. Beyond that, Rolex is technically owned by a charity, but that charity could do more if it made more money. As a result, the reasons given by these companies for not charging more money for their products do not stand up to scrutiny, so there are two reasons why they do this. One final similarity between these products is that they are sold by authorized dealers rather than the companies themselves. You've probably heard of this in the context of a car. When you want to buy a new car, you don't go to a website or a store. Instead, you go to an authorized car dealership, which acts as a middleman between the manufacturer and the consumer. For better or worse, these dealers are in charge of the manufactured product's retail sales. This relationship works well in a few ways. First, it allows manufacturers, particularly boutique luxury manufacturers, to focus on what they do best. It also eliminates the need for them to manage operations in dozens of different countries. But, of course, with that ease of operation comes some tension. Some dealers may want to charge for a given product, while others may aggressively compete with other dealers who happen to sell the same brand. Dealers may also want to sell their products in a way that will earn them a commission in the short term, but will harm the brand in the long run. This is significant for these dealerships because, while they are still not permitted to sell these rare items at a profit, they can use them for something far more important: building relationships with crazy rich people who have more money than common sense. So now that we have identified all of the market participants, we can see that everything makes sense. The manufacturer creates a wide range of products, including some very special items in extremely limited supply. They can be confident that dealers who work for them will gladly buy up all of their regular stock in the hopes of obtaining a healthy allocation of the special in-demand stock. These dealers can then leverage access to these rare items by encouraging their customers to purchase more and more regular stock in exchange for their name being moved up the waitlist. This means more sales and a higher commission than they would have received if they had simply sold the rare items at their fair market value. Also, don't think that this little dance is going to screw over the end user. So long as they get to buy the rare product that was informally promised to them, they'll be fine. If they want to keep the product great, they purchase the ultimate status symbol, which is costly. If they wanted to sell it, things would get interesting. We've already seen the difference between the retail and fair market price of these items can be significant. Some extreme examples include a company selling for up to 5 times its retail value, so the client is probably the biggest winner in this deal, right? Not necessarily, because viewing this transaction in isolation ignores all of the other goods that they would have had to purchase in order to be granted the privilege of purchasing these exclusive items. If you had to buy 10 Ferraris to be invited to buy one limited edition car, you would have spent at least $2 or $3 million. Suddenly, $1 million from flipping this exclusive car doesn't sound so amazing. There are 2 major issues with this. To begin with, this is where we'll find our market equilibrium. Rolex and Ferrari do not sell individual watches, handbags, or sports cars. Consider them to be selling collections. They have perfectly priced their collections. Sure, they could charge more for their special goods, but then no one would want to buy all of these qualifying pieces. They have effectively disguised themselves as an auction house. People do not directly bid with cash. Instead, they bid with a number of regular luxury items with insane prices. Market demand is influenced by a number of factors, one of the most important of which is the expectation of future price growth. It's significant because, throughout this process, certain luxury goods have managed to masquerade as investments with a healthy expectation of future price growth. You might hear people say that it's cheaper to own a Rolex than it is to buy a Seiko, because you can sell your Rolex for the same price, if not more than you paid for it. There are a few issues with this, I mean. To begin with, that money could have been invested and made more money, but they are not entirely wrong until they are. This entire process is predicated on end users demanding exorbitantly priced luxury items. End user demand will be much higher if they can persuade their husbands, wives, accountants, or even themselves that this isn't a bad investment, hiding the fact that these are simply ordinary products that react normally to. The forces of supply and demand maintain the illusion that these items are so unique that they are worthy of being classified as investments. So, why is this significant? As the pandemic has shaken supply chains, many regular companies are beginning to recognize the power of these semi-affordable halo products. Luxury goods are the logical place to start this scheme, due to their distribution network. Insane margins, and let's be honest, there's skewed relationship between price and utility value, but there's no reason why this marketing strategy couldn't gradually spread down the market. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to our channel for more content like this. Have a good one.